You've got your spot, the ideal new home. You and maybe your roommates are hyped. But now the fun part begins. Okay, never mind, it's not really fun for anyone. The application process for leasing an apartment isn't fun for anyone, even your landlord. In this lesson, we'll cover why the application is important, what to expect in the apartment application process, and how long the process takes. Not to scare you, but the application is the most critical part of the whole apartment process. A lot goes into it and it can kind of be annoying at times, but it's essential for a lot of reasons. Why the application is important. The application is your opportunity to prove yourself as a good tenant to the landlord. They'll know a whole lot about you at the end of this process. Their goal is to basically prove two things. Well, that's 4. So 1, that you can pay rent every month, and 2, that you are a decent human being who will not give them trouble while you're living in their building. What to expect in the application process. As I said, you're going to provide a ton of info as part of this process. Let's take a look at what they'll be needing from you and what they'll be doing on their side. The personal info. The easy stuff, the normal stuff. No surprises here. Name, phone number, email, catlovers@gmail.com, whatever you're into. Previous addresses, emergency contacts. Make sure it's real. They want your info, not your Bitmoji, even though I look super cute in my Bitmoji. Background check. It might catch you by surprise, but it's pretty standard. They're checking your criminal history. If there's anything you know will come up, it might be smart to flag it with your potential landlord ahead of time. Credit check. This is an indicator for them of how good you might be at paying your rent on time. If you have good credit, you'll likely not have anything to worry about. Lower credit scores may raise concern, but there are different reasons why a credit score might be low. If you can have a conversation with your potential landlord ahead of time, that could help your cause. The average credit score for approval might vary based on location, competition for the apartment, and more. According to bungalow.com, average nationwide in 2017 was 650, but in many cities, it could be upwards to 700. Research your city to set expectations. Income and financial details. This is how landlords determine your ability to pay the specific amount of rent on time. Typically, they ask for pay stubs, or if you just got a job that you haven't started yet, an offer letter showing proof of employment is often good enough. Rule of thumb, it tends to be that more than 30% of your income should go towards rent, but different landlords have different ways of measuring this. Landlord and personal references. To ensure you'll be a well-behaved tenant, you'll want some good references so others can vouch for you as a human being. Look, I know you're a good person. I can feel it, but it's not up to me. Landlord and personal references can often make or break your tenancy, but they're not always required. Co-signer and guarantor application if needed. If you think you're going to fall short in a couple of key areas, namely credit check or income, getting a co-signer can help with the process. This should be someone with good credit history and income to act as a guarantor in the event that you can't pay for the rent yourself. This is common for those in college or who have just graduated, but it's not always a feasible option for everyone to find one. It can be a family member, a friend, or really anyone who's willing to sign on your behalf. Lastly, the application fee. This is standard and is typically $50 or less. It's non-refundable and will cover the cost of background and credit checks in most cases. How long does this process take? There's legwork on your side and there's legwork on the landlord side. For the stuff on your side, well, it depends on how quickly you can move.
2,000 years later.
You want to get started gathering everything as early as possible. If you know you're looking for a new place, start lining up your financial documents, references, etc. ahead of time. Check your credit early so you know if there's any steps you need to take related to that. Once the application process starts, don't sit on it. There can often be a lot of competition for a place.
And here come the Globo Gym Purple Cobras.
Fill everything out and submit it as quickly as possible. On the landlord side, depending on the landlord, the process can be more drawn out or it can be quick. Expect up to 72 hours for everything to be reviewed and continue to follow up as needed for regular status updates. In the end, the application process can be one that requires a lot. To alleviate the craziness, try to do as much prep as you can with documents and other things to ease the burden on yourself. But don't worry, you'll be popping champagne in no time in your new place. I don't know how to open this, but I do have a wand. Wingardium Leviosa.